You rock, you want a mod for me? Okay, I can do that for you, buddy. Let's do that. Let's take care of that real quick. You've been around for a long time, man, and I appreciate you. I really do. Thanks for sticking around like that. Let's just add you, man. Hopefully that worked right there. If it doesn't, we'll get you next time, okay, man? Thanks for being here third in line. Everybody else that's here, I appreciate you. Sparky B, Christine Ledford, George, nice to see you, bud. Penny, good to see you. Johanna, Team Brave New World. That sounds like a YouTube page. If that's a YouTube page, let me know. We'll go check it out one of these times and see what you got. Let's see here. Does that say Hummingbird? Good to see you. Yeah, no problem, man. You deserve it, man. You've been here since the beginning, brother. Postman, what's up? You want to lick your elbow, but you can't do it? Hey, awesome. Hey, we all got to have a goal, right? Brenda, what's up? Thanks. Appreciate that, Brenda. Really do. Tam Tam, good to see you. Did I skip you, Tam Tam? I'm sorry. Tam Tam, bam, bam. Alright, guys, we are going to jump into it. This is going to be a daily update. I may come back later with another live stream. Guys, stick around to the end. I want to, we may go over and check out Mark Spire's channel again. See if you guys want to go do that with me. I'll go over and hang out if you guys want to go over and hang out with me. But we'll talk about that at the end. So I'm going to dive into this, okay? Guys, space weather is actually kind of quiet right now, believe it or not. That's something that we haven't really experienced lately. Had some pretty quiet stuff, but you know what I think I'm going to do before I do this, guys? I'm going to show you guys something real quick because this does apply to what we're talking about all the time. But I do want to show this to you because these things are here, and I want you guys to know that I've got a small playlist right now. And this playlist has got, let me stop that. Okay. You see how long this video is, right? It's 1 minute 30 seconds. That's all that it is. What this is a very basic explanation of what solar wind is. It's one of the most common things we talk about. But a lot of people just do not know what it actually is. You hear wind and you just immediately think wind blowing through your hair, right? But that's not what it is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play this little video, this little thing I put together. Gosh, I did this a few months back. I point people here all the time, but we've only had like 1,700 people watch it, which is fine. I mean, I don't really care about that part of it. What I care about is people understanding what this actually is. That's more important to me. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to play this. I may stop it just to talk to you guys for a second, but we'll get into this real quick here, okay? Okay, I hope you guys understood that. I'm sure you did. That's basically what it is. Alright, if you guys have any questions after this, I'll pop in there and ask. Sorry. Okay, guys. that was really quick and short, but it explains very well what solar wind actually is. As you guys can see, I've got, what is a solar flare? What is coronal mass ejection? What is a sunspot? These are very basic things that we talk about here on our channel, but, when we get a lot of new people, it's hard to keep going back and explaining these things, and that's why I did this particular playlist. And I made them short. Look, guys, 1 minute, 30 seconds, 130, 150, 259. Because that deserves a little bit more explanation on what a sunspot is, right? And I'll continue to add to this, but if anybody ever has a question, or if you see somebody in the chat asking about what a certain thing is, if you can't type it in there fast enough, or if it's too long of an explanation, just point them over here to this playlist. Hopefully they'll go watch it, because it really does. These are really just directly to the point in what they are. I put a little bit of music with it. They can mute it if they don't like that part of it, but I do think it's out there in a way that it helps people understand, and that was my goal, right? I've pointed this out before, but I get it. I really do. I understand that people can't watch everything all the time. I understand that. Also, guys, I've changed my mouse. Hopefully, you guys are seeing that tail. I wanted that for a reason. That way, when I'm showing you guys something, I can kind of circle it. You guys can kind of see what's going on there. So, I'm going to pop here to the chat real quick. Did you guys have any questions on that? Brenda, oh, thanks, Brenda. I appreciate that. Hillbilly, what's up, bud? Mighty Mark, what's going on, man? Let's see here. I have Walnut turned on. YouTube doesn't. Yeah, hey, Vicky, if you go to, let me show you guys something real quick on that, okay? Well, I'm glad you guys like that, because, believe it or not, that one little 1.5 minute edited video, that probably took me 3 to 4 hours to make. And that's what I'm talking about with that editing and stuff. When you want to make something, yeah, you like that mouse? I think it's going to help people understand. You new to the channel, Melody? Okay, good to have you here. Guys, make her welcome. I'm sure you guys will. You always do. Got any questions, Melody? Please ask. We will definitely try to answer. Christine, birthday, what's up, bud? Sparky B, Brenda, there you are again. thanks, Brenda, appreciate it. Margie, so thanks, guys. I really do appreciate that. I have make. Oh, you make music with no lyrics, do you? Yeah. Well, email me at bluecool52 at Gmail. Okay. Yeah. If you do that, Postman, email me. I might have to have you make me something. Okay. Anyway. We are going to go ahead and keep moving with this. I just want to make sure everybody understood that. And I want everybody to know that those are there, because it does help. Okay. But with solar wind and solar stuff actually right now being very quiet, it allowed me to do that. Okay. So I am going to go through everything here, because there are a few things here to talk about, which are actually pretty cool stuff. But I do appreciate all you guys. So hang in there. I'll come back to you in a minute. All right, guys. The Schumann. Everything looks pretty normal, except for, I did see this. This was kind of odd. If you look at right here, you see this signature right here, and then all of a sudden it seemed like it went down. But what was weird is, look, it's like a train track. You guys see that? Boom, and then it goes down like that. Now I know Verte's in here. He probably knows exactly what's causing that, or at least what could cause it. But I don't particularly know exactly what would, if it's a true jump in frequency like that, that means two of those frequencies there at that whatever frequency that's coming in at, they both reacted at the same time. But what's interesting is it was just here. It wasn't above it. Just there. So whatever caused the frequency to drop down a little bit there and actually kind of do a couple other little things here, that was kind of strange. I don't know that I've seen that before. I'm sure it's been there before, just I haven't seen it. And again, Verte's in here. Maybe he can answer the question, you guys, and I'll go back and read the chat later. But this here, this crazy looking signature, I really think it's a tool flaw. Either that or it's just an anomaly that's always there, and it's really not that big of a deal. I'm talking about the grid looking stuff. I think it's just something there that, even here, it's pretty evident in this particular part of it. So, We'll go back to that later, a different day. Okay, space weather. This is where we, this is basically our heartbeat, guys. This is what we usually go off of here on this channel. Right here. 405, solar wind, nothing to write home about. Dead in the middle. It's exactly what we want. X-ray flux, same thing. Nothing really going on. We would like it to be a little higher because it would help the ham radio operators. It helps the radio propagation so they can get easier communication with first responders. That's typically the systems the first responders use, are the ham radio operating stuff, okay? And we need some solar activity to propagate those waves, in a consistent fashion so they don't miss, right? So they have good communication. Geomagnetic activity, if you're using GPS, this is what's kind of crazy. GPS, you almost want exact opposite conditions of what you get than what you want with ham radio operation, right? So if you're using GPS to navigate, we don't like geomagnetic activity, right? We don't like all this stuff going on. But for the radio, you need some of it. So anyway, things are right in the middle. There's not much to talk about there. We will look at the ACE data because this is kind of interesting. What's interesting is how normal it is. I have to be honest. I haven't seen it this normal in a while, and that is the truth. Look at this. I mean, it is just staying right. Look at the BZ. It's just, man, you don't get much just like right in the middle than that. Not with this kind of stuff we're talking about. Even the phi angle. I mean, it's just really staying really consistent. Now, I know that this here looks like it's very variable because it looks like popcorn. But remember remember I said you always got to look over here at the range? Look at the range right here. This is really kind of strange. The number here is 340 to 480. So you've only got a 140 kilometer difference from the top of this graph up here to the bottom. That is ridiculous, in my opinion, because any kind of movement at all is going to look big. Unlike the other day when I showed it to you, where it was showing 200 to 1400, and then it would take a huge movement to even see it. So they need to fix that, because it really will confuse a lot of people. Because you look at this, it looks like it's moving around some. Yes, we can kind of see a general decrease in the speed, which is exactly what we're seeing. But this right here, this really should look like a complete straight line almost, because this graph should be like 300 to 500 at least, maybe even 200, 250 to 500 or something. But no, it's not. So, temperature though, the temperature on here, and the density is kind of doing the same thing, guys. It's just hanging right around 1. Not much movement. You got the temperature though. It did take an uptick right here. It's not huge, but it did do that. So I'm not sure what's going on with that. Now I can't give you current data right now because it's in that the line of sight of the satellite. It can't communicate the data right now. It's blocked off, so we don't have what's going on at this exact moment. But that's not that big of a deal because obviously we can go somewhere else and look for it. But this is what was part of my thumbnail. Okay, remember I said we might see a geomagnetic storm in the next couple days? We're right here in time. Okay? But do you see this? That's a little bump up that is, and it even looks like even after that, it's going to bump up even more. If you look over here at the spiral graphs, we'll run them real quick. You're going to see that, see how we're kind of in the clear here? And then watch. It's just going to spiral through. If you watch the sideways, the side view here, you can see how something spewed off the sun right there. I'm not sure what this graph is picking up, if it's a coronal hole or whatever that is. I'm not really seeing it. So, not really sure. Okay, guys? But it doesn't mean that it ain't there. Obviously, this model has gotten that data from somewhere. So something has seen something going on right there. Now, I do trust this right here. Number one, this is really impressive for this model in the fact that this hump right here, and I've said this 1,000 times on this, you can't really trust it this far out, 5 days out. But this little uptick in what we're seeing here in density and in here in the velocity, they showed it as soon as it came on the graph here. And it stayed very consistent up to here. This probably won't change much as it gets here because whatever left the sun already left the sun and it's there, right? It's only got about like a day, day and a half before it gets here. Are we going to see a big thing? No. Okay, I don't want to say we're going to see anything big, but it could put us up into storm level or not. But it does look like it could. It's got a chance. Okay. Now, you guys remember the other day I was showing you guys this aurora graph, right? Here's the North Pole right here, dead smack. That's geographic North Pole. Now, if you look at this circle right here, okay, obviously that's a globe. We all know what that is. That's what is it, 75 degree north, I think is what that one is. Yeah, that's 75 degrees north. Now, if we go to the next one, you know, obviously we're looking here. But what I want you guys to understand is, do you see the circle here? Do you see how far off to the right that it is than right over top of the North Pole? That's where our magnetics are, guys. This is a really good representation to show you where the actual magnetic north is. Because as these charged particles come in, they come in right on the pole. Easy. Right? So this is if you go right to the middle of this circle, which is right here right now. Now, I know that, you know, the physical location of geomagnetic north is probably over here right now. But our Earth is also tilted. So it does change things a little bit. And our magnetic field doesn't always stay in the same spot. It moves back and forth. But you can see how this thing is, you know, off to the right. It's just another indication that, yes, our geomagnetic north is moving. It's going to continue to go that way. Eventually, it's going to come down. It's coming down south now. They say the line is 40 degrees. All right. So, you know, you got 75 degrees here. What's the next one? I forget. Well, there's 30. That's 45. So, I would say what? That would be 50, I think. Am I right there? I could be wrong, but is that what that is? I'd have to look. I'm not really sure exactly what degree that one is. But if that is 50 and this is 45, then we're kind of looking right in this area. When geomagnetic north gets down that far, don't forget that geomagnetic south is moving up too. They're coming towards each other. That's what they do. If you guys think about that for a second. Negative and positive, they attract each other. So they're going to speed up as time goes on. And eventually, they're going to flip. And they're going to, they use all that energy and they just flip right on through. Right? I found this interesting, though. This was kind of I haven't seen this do this in a while. I've seen it do it before, I have to say, but not in a while. You guys see this right there? You see that little chance of seeing aurora down that far? I'm not sure if the tool's kind of jacking up here or if maybe it's picking up one of those cracks in our magnetic field. I don't know. I don't see us seeing, and not without having some big geomagnetic storm. I don't see us getting auroras down that far south. Okay, we're talking Nebraska, Oklahoma area. Colorado, yes, and we get those there quite a bit, okay? But the altitude is way up also, all right? There ain't no altitude here. It's flat corn, Nebraska and stuff, Kansas, all that. That would be Kansas. That's Oklahoma, Kansas, Nebraska, right? But that's what, I just thought that was interesting. So, let's move on here. Okay, these are the magnetosphere tools. What is interesting, even though we've calmed down quite a bit, I'm going to back off here a little bit so you guys can get a better look. Even though we backed off a little bit here, we're still getting some hits. It looks like our magnetics are still bouncing around some. You see how that kind of moved, and then that happened. So we're still getting some things going on. All right, so let's push play there, and you can see how we got little waves coming in. But notice, see our bow shock out here? This is kind of representing where our bow shock is. That this is not our bow shock, but this is kind of representing it. What it's showing you is just simply density of particles. So the darker ones are higher dense, and the ones out in front are kind of lower. The lighter color ones are lower. But this is kind of representing where our bow shock is. It's not specific, but that's what we're looking at. So You can see how different densities are coming through, which means that solar weather is coming in, moving, that kind of thing. This is doing the same thing down in here, I showed you up here. Not extreme, but stuff is still happening, right? Here's the pressure. You can kind of see where things kind of went back to normal. Now, the biggest thing I noticed when I see this, if you guys remember, we were kind of tilted, kind of at this angle, right? Remember? Kind of this way, the whole thing. Like this, like that little opening right there would be down here. Remember? It seems as though it might have moved back up here a little bit. And again, but if you look at where the pressure is, see, that's even more horizontal there. It looks like we kind of bent down a little bit more. But is it a big deal? No. What is strange to me, and I've been talking about this, you see, this is still smooth up here on the edge, but it looks like a saw blade down here. I'm still kind of kicking around what the heck that is. If it's not a model issue, maybe it's something going on. I'm not sure if it's directional or why we're seeing that kind of a signature. So, okay. Here's ISWA coronal holes, guys. We got one here. We do have some starting to open up here. All right. Now, it didn't, label either one of these. It's labeling the one up here on the northern part of the sun, and that's always there. Okay. So is the southern one. Sometimes these things grow together, but I'm still seeing an opening here in the atmosphere of the sun here and up here. Okay. That was there yesterday. We were looking at it yesterday, matter of fact. So let's back that up a little bit too so we can see. All right, now this is the radiation, our radiation belts. I'm just going to grab it here and do this because there's really not a whole lot going on right now with this kind of stuff. But I do want to show it to you so I can give you an update. Okay, that wasn't nothing, was it? I mean, it was pretty normal. And again, you're going to see the same kinds of things here on the sun. Not a whole lot. Now we're seeing a little bit of action here and here. I do think that mouse, guys, I hope that's working out for you guys. I think it helps everybody see what I'm talking about. But I'm not seeing a whole lot anywhere else. What I am noticing is a blank disk again. And that means that there are no sunspots facing Earth. This is from our view. This isn't stereo A. This is SOHO, which is, well, is this SOHO or SDO? I can't remember. It's SDO, okay? They're essentially in the same position for our purposes. SOHO's kind of in off to our left, if you want to go left-right with it, or east-west. But remember, when we're talking about space, if we say, hey, the east limb of the sun, it's actually on the left. It's opposite. So I don't know why or how or why they do it like that, but they do. I'm sure there's a pretty good explanation for it, but I don't know what that explanation is. Probably be easy to figure out. I just have to, do a simple little Google search probably. But we're just not seeing a whole lot. So I'm not really going to, concentrate a whole lot on that. Now, this here is another magnetosphere model. Remember, the sun's off here to the right. Okay? So let's go this way. Now, see what we're seeing there? This is what's got me kind of like, what in the world? Because everything's quieting down, but yet we're still seeing activity here. But then it dawned on me that we are like a capacitor. We build energy, right? Whatever energy we're getting, we hold it. Then once we can't hold it, we release it. And I think sometimes that's what we're seeing here. See, look at all that just leaving. You can see how it goes from that to that brightness, and then you can see how it fades off that direction. Everything's getting pushed out that way. See that? So, and then you got, then you get stuff right behind it too. I mean, stuff's just happening right there. You can clearly see that stuff's leaving right there. Look, see? Now, if we're taking hits in the front, remember this is a two-dimensional model. That energy could actually hit the front and the Earth's deflecting it, and it looks like it's coming straight through, but it's not. It's actually coming towards us as it moves this direction. All right? It'd be kind of like this, but it's not. It's like right in the middle. It's like we're in a donut. Remember I showed you guys that before? So yeah, there's that. Here's the magnetosphere model for the Australian model. We will take a look at this one. It's just going to bounce around. It's going to show you a different look. The sun's off to the left on this one. And again, nothing crazy. That's why I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time talking about this, because there's not really a whole lot going on. It's moving around, but that's pretty normal. See the 15 degree mark here and the 10? I call it degree. I'm not sure if that's the actual degree. But the 10 and 15 mark, it's staying right in between there. Whenever it does that, that's pretty normal. So yeah, not a whole lot there. I'm going to X out of that one. And again, you know, nothing here. Now I'm going to show you the seeds model here in a second. There's a sun diver. The sun ate another comet. And I'll show it to you here in a minute. But you can see how we're not getting much activity, which is why I was wondering why they were showing kind of a possibility of aurora down this far. That was kind of strange. I don't know. Oh, I want to show you this too. This is the CME tracker. It still hasn't updated. And I show you guys this for that one reason. Just to show you guys how inconsistent this thing updates. We've had other CMEs and other ejections from the sun since the 30th. So why aren't they showing it? Really makes you wonder. Okay, this is stereo A. This is over at Seeds. Remember, Earth's over here on the right. And the satellite's down here. Okay? So we're looking at the sun from the side on this one. And there's not much to see. Alright? There's just not. Not really much going on. I'm going to back this one up a day because you can actually see. And this is what I say about that thing not really seeing that CME. I think this is why that graph was showing some of that uptick. Because this left yesterday, the sun, right? On the 2nd. So if we go 5 days after that, what is that? Or 4, you know? It'd be the 6th and 7th, right? Well, what did this show us? Here's the 6th, and here's the 7th. Look down here on the speed. Okay? So I think this model is showing that. That's what I believe. So let's let me pause that. Let's go back here, and we'll go back another day. So this is the first, right? So what's 4 days or 5 days after that? The 5th or 6th, right? So we're seeing this, right, on the 1st. So 5 to 6 days, if that's coming at us, it would be hitting us then, right? Or 4 to 5, which would be on the 5th or 6th. Well, let's go back here and look. 5th or 6th, look what's here. Okay? Nobody is talking about any kind of ejection that came off the sun that's supposed to be impacting Earth that day. But this model is showing it, and so is this. So why not? Why isn't anybody talking about this? You know, it may not be a big deal, but if anytime anything comes off the sun and it's coming at Earth, people need to talk about it. Sorry. You know, this little ball of energy right here, as compact as that is, if it actually hit us dead on the chin, we could have some decent sized issues from that. But other, you know, chances of that actually happening are pretty small. But we don't know how strong it is either. That's the other thing. You know, I'm not going to sit here and say it's going to be massive or not. Matter of fact, I'm saying the opposite. I don't think that it is going to be massive. I do think that it's going to be, you know, something what they're showing you here. This model picked it up. It's seen it. It's not going to tell you it's a CME. It's just showing you wind speed and density. Right? That's why that CME tracker is important. We need to see that kind of thing. You know, why aren't they letting that thing just fly? I don't know. I don't get it. I have my ideas, and I think you guys know what I'm talking about. Right? So we'll go here to the 3rd. This is Soho. This is right out in front of the sun. Right out in front of Earth looking at the sun. Okay? You can see how it kind of ejection, but there's your sun diver. Watch. See where my cursor is? Now watch. I'll follow it with my cursor. Right there. I know it's easy to see, really. I'm going to slow it down, though. We'll just do it this way. It should be popping in there pretty quick. There it is. See it? Now notice the distance it covers in a very short amount of time. It went from here to here in 6 hours. Think about that for a second. The field of view here is pretty narrow, but even at that, this is a grand distance. Okay? That's a pretty good amount to travel in that length of time. So right around 10, I think it shows up. Well, right around 11. And there it is. Right? That's a sundiver. Now, this is also a good chance for me to show you guys why we see those, a lot of people say, well, that's two objects. No, it's not. Not even close. So when I seen people talking about it possibly being two objects before, when we were talking about another one, a different one, I wondered. I really wondered why they were saying that. And it was, it was like from people that probably really should understand that it's not. So what I'll do here, I'm going to go forward. But what you can, guys, you can tell it's a ghosting of it. All right, look, it's the exact same shape, exact same size. It's the same thing that happens. Now listen to me, okay? It's the exact same thing that happens when we get like something that shoots across the screen and it's really bright and white, and then the next image we get is black of the same thing, right? That's exactly what's going on here, but it's doing it in this form. It's the same object, okay? I hope you guys understand that. I don't want to like push that point, but I really hope people do understand that. And to get a better idea, if you guys see it over here on this view, you're even going to see a little bit of it doing it a little on this one too, but it's way bigger on this one. So I'm going to push play and watch it over here. You see how that kind of dove in there? This is a much better way to see it if you can actually see it. Sometimes they show up over here, but not over here. And that's why I chose to show you over here on this one, because it's just easier to see and it's there, right? So watch this. It's coming in about, I'm just going to speed it up. You guys seen it right there. Okay. So, that's a sundiver. For anybody didn't know what a sundiver was, that's one of them, guys. The sun ate that sucker up, man. It's gone now. It don't even exist. It might not have even made it to the sun. The solar wind might have ate it up. Okay, so this is the power outage map. You got California. That's about the only thing going on right now. Obviously, for what reason? Well, the fires. I think we all know that, right? So let's go to, we'll take a quick look at the earthquakes. What's going on with this? I'm going to update it real quick so we get a good updated version of this. Now, guys, there's not a whole lot today. There has been some activity. We've gotten some down here, a 4.5 in Fiji. This one here, I think, was the biggest one. It was in Papua New Guinea, a 5.3. We got one down here. This kind of, shocks people a little bit sometimes. We're kind of programmed to think, especially those of us that live in the United States, oh my gosh, San Andreas Fault, since I was a little kid. And that most definitely is probably one of the most significant faults probably in the world. It's very active all the time, and if it goes big, it goes big. We all remember the World Series when that happened, remember? A lot of people passed away from that one. Highways and stuff were falling, all kinds of crazy stuff. It was a big one, during the Oakland-San Francisco Giants World Series they had that year. But stuff happens everywhere, guys. These are just a few of the fault lines and plate boundaries, okay? You'll notice that they kind of mimic what the coastlines are, because that's what's going on, guys. It's like a puzzle. I think most of us kind of know that, but I like to point that out every once in a while. So Japan, you got 5.5. Obviously, the big bad one over here was leaking all kinds of nasty stuff from that reactor into the ocean. Still is, by the way. Anytime we see something over here, we get a little scared. Anytime we see something up here in Cascadia, same kind of thing. So, All right. Now, I'm going to bring you guys back up here for a second. See how you guys are doing. Are you guys okay? You guys got any questions? Nice to see you, Ricky. Good to see you. Dolores, Ernest, you were in here earlier. Thanks for sticking around. Amber Lee, Johnny Doom, good to see you guys. Yeah, guys, I have to say, the political thing that's going on, we have to pray for, our leader. We really do. I know that the timing of this is like extremely coincidental, and I get it. Okay? What makes white light? That's a good question. We're often kind of, we think that black is the darkest light, right? Well, actually, black is the absence of light. So white, being the opposite, is probably exactly what I just said. All light. But our visible spectrum is very, very small. If you look at the complete light spectrum, guys, the visible part of it is so small. And that's why we have to have tools to actually see what's out there. So when people get on people for using like filters to see things, it's kind of asinine in the point that our eyes limit us big time. So when we're able to see, yeah, that's right, Hillbilly. Hilly Billy. I'll just call you Hilly. Guys, yeah, go over and check out Hilly's channel too, okay? He did a Bible study today, didn't you, Hilly? Go check him out, guys. Please. But anyway, he's right. It's all of the visible spectrum combined produces white light. That's why when I say, black is the absence of that. That's why, guys, when we talk about black holes, that's why they're black. Light cannot even escape it. That's what we're talking about. All right? So it does help people understand. Thank you for putting that out there, Hilly. It really does help people. Let's see here. I see another question pop through. Let's see here. Hey, Mark, I just got some great pictures of the moon, and it's red as can be. Oh, really? Yeah, we've been seeing a lot of that, Michael. And thanks for pointing that out, by the way. We do see a lot of that, guys. Right now, obviously with stuff hanging around in our atmosphere. Don't forget, though, too, guys, some of these images we're seeing that people are making a big deal about aren't. And let me explain. We all know what a harvest moon is, right? They've been around since creation. So when I see people making a big deal over a harvest moon, just a typical harvest moon, and they're calling it something that really isn't, it really, it's kind of annoying because you're trying to, what I'm showing you guys here is hard enough for people to wrap their brain around and to accept any of it as truth, because it's on the edge. It's not what people are told that's actually happening. So when I see that stuff in our own community showing that kind of a thing, that's just completely normal and explainable, empirically factual, and then they show something and they call it something that it's not, it really is, it's disheartening. So yeah. Yeah, Sparky B, Blue Moon on Halloween this year. Everything we're talking about here, Blue Moon, Harvest Moon, all that stuff is completely normal. Anybody that's my age or older or younger probably know that. It's just you got those few out there that they're taking it and they're just like blowing it way out of proportion. It's not anything really to be. Yes, it's extremely neat. It's like the conjunction with Mars and the Moon. Okay, it really is. That's a really cool thing. Guys, the past couple days, Mars has been real close to the Moon, and the Moon's been full, so it's been actually helping us, helping us kind of see it. Which is usually backwards of that, but it's made it more bright, right? Usually, if we're going to go look at a star or a planet, we want the moon to be not there. We want it to be in new moon phase, right? So it's just those are neat things that we go see, and I usually point it out to you guys when we're having those kinds of astrological events that are very predictable. You can go to any astrological program and run it out. Run it 50 years out in front of you. And they'll tell you exactly what's going to happen. Bar the new stuff that they discover, like newer asteroids or comets and stuff like that we just haven't seen yet. But anything that's been here before, they're able to map it. So, yeah, guys. So I do appreciate you guys being here. Thanks to all the mods. I really, guys, I'm trying to keep these daily updates short. A lot of people got on me for it, for making really long live streams and stuff, and I get it. I do. So I'm trying to keep at least these updates kind of on the shorter end. I think we're running about 40 minutes right now. I'm not sure exactly. I'm trying to get them 30 minutes or less. I'm not trying to ignore people. But listen, guys, let me do this real quick before we get off here. I would really like for everybody to go over here and anybody that's here, do this real quick. So, guys, I would really like for us to go over here and, check out Mark's channel. I'm going to go hang out there. Here's the link, guys. I'll put it down here. Here's the link, guys, to Mark's channel over there. He does some good stuff. It's all about positivity. That's just what he's about. And let me say this too, guys. Not everybody is going to believe the way that we all believe, or somebody's going to believe this way or that way. It doesn't make what people are believing any less important or any less, valid at that point, If somebody's trying to put a smile on somebody's face, I ain't got nothing wrong with that at all. I can stand next to somebody, and that's what's good about our country, and that's what really's got me scared right now, because we're so pitted against each other on so many different fronts that it's going to take a lot to get us back to where we need to be and be able to come to some sort of agreement. But let me tell you this. I would stand next to any one of you guys. I don't care what your skin color is. I don't care what your background is, what you've done in the past, what your religion is. I will stand right next to you for one reason. It's because that's what we're supposed to do. And that's why we are who we are. So when I see people of different race or different religions and different this, and they fight each other, right? And they want to cancel them out. Well, you can't do that. You can't cancel them, guys. Because if you take it that far, even though you might not agree. What if you're smelly? That's a good one, Hilly. Even, if you take it that far, guys, where are we going to go with that? We're not going to go nowhere. We're done. If we can't accept that, it really bothers me to see people go at people that have different, even if it's slightly different religious beliefs or, again, skin color, any kind of thing, political, whatever, right? Even if it varies just a little bit from what you actually have been told or what you believe, they go so hard the opposite direction and they want to cancel them out and get rid of them. Well, we can't do that because our country was founded on something completely opposite of that. If we believe what our forefathers did and what they came here for, a lot of that was for freedom of religion. That includes all of them. If you're going to have that kind of a freedom, then we got to be able to let somebody practice what they want to practice, just like we're allowed to. We don't have to agree, but we have to protect each other in that aspect that we can't let that go away. Because if it does, what if someday down the road, and I know the majority of people that listen to me are probably Christian people. What if someday down the road, somebody gets in power that's not a Christian and just sits there and tells you, that you can't practice what you're believing right now? What are you going to do? That's why it has to be freedom across the board, not just one section or the other. That's all. Okay? I think it's just good advice for everybody to understand that, and I think that majority of the people here do. You know, and I know, I get it. I really do. I get it. And let me say this too. Anytime I've ever got anybody to believe what I'm believing, or what I'm trying to help people believe in the way that, you know, that I think things need to be done, my religious beliefs, or just anything, my political beliefs, you cannot hit them over the head with it. If you do, you're going to knock them out, right? What happens when you're knocked out? You're asleep. They're not going to hear you. It's that simple. It just is. And that's one of the biggest mistakes that I've made in my past. I really, you know, I used to go. Yeah, guys, you see Hilly's link there? Great stuff over there, guys. Go check it out. But, you know, if I want somebody to understand where I'm coming from, I'm not going to smack them in the face with anything. I'm gonna dig some dirt. I'm gonna put a seed, and I'm gonna water that thing as much as I can. I'm gonna baby it. I'm gonna nurture it. That kind of thing. I'm not gonna come at you with something, hit you in the head with a sledgehammer, and then come back the next day with a dump truck and run you over. That's what a lot of channels do, and that's what a lot of other people do in this world. And I'm telling you, nobody ever learns from that. Ever. People shut down and will not have nothing to do. Right? I mean, guys, just take this for example, and I was going to bring this up anyway. I got slammed, completely slammed in that comment section. And when all I was trying to do was help somebody else in this community, Scott and Dr. Albers. I got completely crammed to the point, and so did they. And everybody else that was like putting things in there. I had to shut the comments off because they were getting so disgusting. It was really bad. It was bad. Frankly, I was disappointed because it was just some of the stuff that was there just didn't need to be there. And I know none of you guys did that. It's just that, you know, I hate turning comment sections off because it takes away everybody's voice. And I don't want that. I didn't block anybody. People slam me upside down, one down the other over all that. But I didn't block anybody. They're still here. I'm not going to cancel you. So, anyway. I wanted to mention that because it did kind of discourage me a little bit. I'm still kind of discouraged over that a little bit. But let me say something. What has already been done has helped Scott already. He's now able to at least get the first appointment going for her to help her get better. So, yeah, E-Rock, you probably seen some of them before I turned the comments off. It was pretty bad. You know, I'll take a lot, but when it starts attacking other people, that's when I can't leave it there. And it was too much to try to filter through. And I knew some of it was going to be there, but not to the level that it was. I mean, it was bad. I'm not really laughing out of, you know, something being funny. But anyway, let's forget all about that right now. Hey, let's go over to Mark's channel. Let me put that up in there again. Let's go over there. Let's show him some love. You know what? Let's be there for each other. Let's laugh. Let's listen to some music. Let's do it, guys. All right? God bless. Yahuwah saves. And, yeah, you can drink this Kool-Aid.